Hi, I'm John Joseph, and today we're going to cover why am I addicted? You might have been new to understanding that you realize you have a drug or an alcohol problem. You might have run into a lot of problems, maybe a traffic accident, or you're having big problems at home, and you're realizing, I got a problem. Uh, Drinking heavily, or I'm addicted to drugs. You're wondering why? Why me? I mean, there's a lot of reasons behind it. Um, Basically, two things you want to know is environmental. That means something affected from outside the environment. And the other one's psychological, which means there's some disorder and anxiety, a depression that you're going through, and it's causing you to be addicted to drugs or alcohol. Now, you didn't pick the drug or the alcohol that you wanted to become addicted to. You didn't say, oh, well, I like Coke. I'm going to become a Coke addict. Or, yeah, heroin. Let me become a heroin addict. I think I can afford that better. It doesn't happen like that. What happens first, usually when you're younger, teens, you start getting high with your friends. You enjoy the high. Before you know it, over time, if you do have an addiction, if you're susceptible to it, you're going to find that you're using one drug over another, or you're always drinking alcohol. What that's telling you is it's going to help you this is going to help you understand what your problem is based on what drug you're doing. Um, Coke addicts, a lot of times they go through depression or uh, something else to where they need to be brought up. They need an upper all the time. Most coke addicts that I've known and crack addicts, when they get off, and they go clean, they end up going to get coffee or a really heavy cappuccino so they can, get all wired up. Even though they're clean, they still like that feeling of something to bring them up. So, the reason that you got addicted to a particular drug is something that you want to pay attention to, and it'll tell you what's wrong with you and what you got to change in yourself. Once you figure out all the different factors that are causing your mind to be unbalanced. You have an unquiet mind. That's why you're an addict. And an unquiet mind is seeking some way to quiet itself. And it's found a way to do it through drugs and alcohol. And that's why you gravitate towards it. When you have an unquiet mind, I call that an addictive pull. You have all these factors that come together, and it causes you to need something for relief. You're hyped up or you're brought down, and you've grown dependent on drugs and alcohol. Um, Sometimes people have heard that there's an addictive gene in the family. Oh, you got the gene, or I got the gene in the family. Um, there's some truth to that. I mean, it's more than the gene, but there's an inheritance in your family for some type of psychological disorder. It could be ADHD, something bringing on anxiety. You need to find out what exactly you have as far as a psychological diagnosis. That's the first step. Second step is outside factors, environmental. Maybe you're not too good in school, and your whole family's been good in school, and you're just getting pressure from them, and you can't handle it. You're not good in math. Certain things you're just not good in paying attention, and everybody else in your family is successful. So now they're putting a lot of pressure on you, and you can't handle it. You weren't made to be that type of a success. Maybe your thing in life is going to be something different than everybody else in the family, but your family thinks otherwise. Boom, they're putting pressure on you. These are environmental factors. What if you lost your job and you're married and you got a couple of kids? Now all of a sudden you're behind on the mortgage. You're worrying. You're going to probably lose your wife, your kids. You're thinking if you lose the house, they're just going to figure you're a total loser. And this is going to weigh on your mind, and it's going to cause unbalance in the mind, and it's going to create what's called an addictive pull. And it'll pull you towards something just to find relief for all of the anxiety and everything that you're going through mentally. So you need to find out the factors that are influencing you to need to use drugs or alcohol. When you're off of it, how are you? Like if you go a few days, 3 days, are you getting jumpy? You also have to, if you had a physical addiction, and if you stop using for a few days, you may be getting jumpy, and of course you're going to go through withdrawal because you're physically um, withdrawing from the drug. So your body gets sick, it gets worn down, you feel awful, and you're going to go through a whole host of medical traumas on your body from that. You have to get past once you when you stop for a few days. If you want to know why am I addicted, stop for a few days or try to stop for a week and then see what's wrong with you. If you go through withdrawal, you have to get to the point after withdrawal to really be able to take a look at yourself and see what you're like when you're past withdrawal and when you're totally clean, when there's nothing in your system. How are you feeling? Are you jumpy? Are you antsy? Are you anxiety prone? This is where a psychiatrist is going to help you too. Now, I know a lot of people are initially thinking, oh, come on, I'm not crazy. Come on, don't call me nuts. Well, it's not calling you nuts. I'm gonna point something out. 1 in 5 people have a psychological disorder. 1 in 3 has an addiction. If you ever seen a woman that's 300 pounds and she doesn't smoke, she doesn't drink, I'm going to tell you why she's 300 pounds. Because she doesn't smoke and she doesn't drink. She's an addict. If she started smoking and drinking, she'd probably be skinny again. She wouldn't rely on food. She has an addiction. When you have an unquiet mind, an addiction will manifest itself in some way. If you quit your heroin cold turkey and you went clean and now it's 6 months later, chances are you're going to probably put on 20 or 30 pounds. I see it happen all the time. You're going to gravitate towards another addiction. Sometimes it's good knowing this in advance because you could try to guide what your next addiction is going to be. There will be a next addiction. But what you got to do is you have to reduce the addictive pull and the unbalanced in your mind, your unquiet mind. When you can reduce the environmental factors and the psychological factors, in other words, take the pressure off environmentally, um, and or psychologically, you get on medication, you go see a good psychiatrist, and that helps calm you, helps bring you down, to at least be stable. And once your mind isn't going haywire,